Thank you for staying tuned to my channel, where we do our best to simplify the practice of quantity surveying. You're welcome to another episode where we shall be learning how to prepare and use Daywork templates. As we all know, Daywork is a mode of payment that is deployed by the clients to pay some petty jobs that the client is expecting the contractor to carry out during the construction phase of a project that has nothing to do with the original contract. So in this case, also this method of payment can also be applicable to some certain jobs that their unit rates cannot be ascertained. So records of resources deployed will be kept, and a markup, a certain allowance will be made for profit and overhead to the contractor. And this kind of jobs can come as a result of modification by the architects, by the structural engineers. So say the contractor is expected to pull down a wall, an existing wall that he has built before and paid off, pull down that wall and cut away the debris and make good the location where the wall is pulled off from. Or the contractor is expected to increase the height of already casted column by 200 heights, which is as a result of the modification from the client. You know, preparing the formwork for just 200 heights, there are no square meters that can pay off the amount of carpenters and the labor that you're going to deploy in preparing the formwork. Also, the volume of concrete that will be casted on that height of 200 columns. If the columns are 200 and they are even 50 in pieces and the size is 230 by 230, it hardly you can get 1 cubic meter for the 50 pieces of those columns. And the number of labor you are going to deploy in executing that job, if you want to apply the bill rate, you cannot break even. So in this case, the client and the contractor will now accept that they should keep record of all the resources deployed in terms of material, equipment, and labor, which a certain markup will be agreed to cover the client's, the contractor's profit and overheads. Having said that, there are 5 things we need to have in our minds when preparing Daywork sheets. When preparing Daywork sheet and what Daywork is all about. Firstly, the job in question has nothing to do with the original contract. They are jobs that came as a result of either change in design, modification, or basically modification. Secondly, the job are daily in nature, that requires that every day you open a fresh sheet to keep the record for that day and sign up by the client. Then thirdly, you have to submit a basic rate for all the resources that you are expected to use for that job for approvals. Then the 5th point is that the markup, that is the profits and overhead percentage, has to be agreed and accepted and approved by the client. So after understanding this 5 points that I've just pointed out, let us now go to a typical template that I have prepared on my screen. A typical Daywork sheet must have the company's name, the project's title. It must have a date. It must have a location where you number it. The instruction number has to be indicated. Then you have the description of the job, meaning you have to describe the kind of job you are asked to do. Possibly you back it up with a detailed design, and you reflect the location where you are carrying out the job in the building for ease of reference. Then another thing again, like I did said, you have to agree on the markup, and usually the markup for the three different resources you needed to deploy usually are not the same. Sometimes the labor is high, and equipment and materials, they are usually the same. So you are expected to keep this record separately so as to enable you apply the markup easily. And that is what I did. I have the location where I have my equipment. I have my labor location. I have my material location. So we can now make a typical example of what I did now is to have the area where I have the description of the kind of equipment, material or labor I want to deploy, the number of the equipment I am deploying, and when the equipment starts work and when it stops work, and the total hour it has achieved by the day, and the rate for the equipment per hour, and the amount. So after understanding this, let us just take, for a typical example, say I am instructed to carry out a job, and the work requires that I deploy a crane, say a mobile crane, and I'm expected to bring one mobile crane, and it starts work at 7 a.m. and it stops work at 6 p.m. So if you compute the time between 7 to 8, you're going to get 11 hours. If you take out 1 hour that is meant for lunch, you're going to be left to 10 hours. And say if say mobile crane is say a 3 million or a 150,000 per day, divided by 8 hours. Divide by 8 hours. So meaning that I have 18,000 per hour, and he spent for this day 10 hours. Then say let's do another example with this. So with the 187 is that is the amount I have spent in mobilizing this crane, including the operator and the batman. So their cost is 187,500, and I'm expected to make a 60% profit on that, which I have applied. 1.6 of this gives me 300,000. Then say for labor, I'm expected to deploy a machine. I'm deploying this. I deployed 3 for the work. I deployed carpenter. I deployed 4. I deployed steel bender. I deploy steel bender 1. I deploy labor. I deploy 2. And based on the unit rate, the basic rate I've submitted for approval, their unit rate per hour is say 600 for all the workmen. and for labor is say 500. And they also did start work by 7, they close 6, and the total hour they are putting is 10 hours. 10 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 600 gives you 18. Say I was expected that for this day I brought cement. I brought 7 bags. I brought sand, 2 tons. I brought gravel, 2 tons. And their cost per ton is cost per bag is 7,000. Cost for 1 ton is 6,000. Cost for this is 8,000. So I have, these are the amounts, and I have a 60% markup on it. It gives me 1.6 multiplied by 7,000. That is the cost of this. So at the end of the day, I have 539,200 for this day. And the client signs off, and I signed off, contractor signs off, and the client signs off, then it will be due for, they will now process it for payment. So you have to keep this record on a daily basis, so as to be clear for everybody what was deployed on a daily till the job is completely executed. If I've been able to put more light on how you understand how to prepare Daywork and how to prepare Daywork sheet, and also how it works on site, please leave a comment on my page, and also don't forget to subscribe and share. See you on the next episode. Bye.